Now we'll have Magnus come on stage and introduce himself.
All right. I think. Hello, hello. Yep. All right. Well, back one. There we go. All right. FYUZ.com. We've been around for 10 years, but you have never heard of us because we've been the same problem as the previous, jumping back and forth. Yeah, we have been behind the scenes for 9 years of our 10-year existence. We used to work behind Ruckus to help them sell their solution to service providers like the big telcos in the US. And this year we have moved to the front and we will talk about what we did in Jamaica. And our software, well, technical issues. So I will tell the story about Jamaica from 4 different standpoints: the MSP, the open Wi-Fi vendor, the solution provider, and the end user. And a little about the pain points. Say that you are an MSP, you are in the legacy, you have Ruckus, and you want to move to open Wi-Fi. You say, how do I do that? There is, what is open Wi-Fi? I'm used to vertically integrated functioning software. And the open Wi-Fi guy is saying, we have great solutions, great price points, but somehow legacy works, but ours don't. So how do we get there? And then you have the solution providers, the third party that has all different things, and they say, yeah, we want to integrate this, but usually that will take us 6 to 12 months. I want to be able to have one API and integrate and get it working one time. And then, of course, you have the end user that says, look, I want the best of all worlds. I want the legacy stuff when I want it. I want open Wi-Fi when I want it. I want Fortinet firewalls. I want all of this. And why do I have to have 4 different interfaces to manage this, or more? So that's the wild edge of the, that we call it, where you have no control. You want a single pane of glass. And so Jamaica came around, and they say, we want a national dashboard. We want to be able to see all our schools across 14 parishes, across 1,000 schools. We want Wi-Fi everywhere. We want 3 SSIDs. We want to be able to add IoT. We want to have multi-vendor support, and a minimum Ruckus and open Wi-Fi. And MS Tech, the local MSP, they had no Wi-Fi experience before. They were just installers, you could call it. So with that, because we were integrated, pre-integrated with Ruckus very well, they started with Ruckus and rolled out 3,150 access points across Jamaica in 90 days. And that was just to get EU funding. That was the main reason to get something out really quick. And after that, it was to say, look, we want to be able to do the Ruckus, we want to be able to do Edge Core, we want to be able to do Action Tech, we want to be able to do CyberTAN, and we want to have Fortinet firewalls. So here we have a mix of legacy, if we call it that, and open Wi-Fi, all managed through one interface. And that is what we call YBIP OS. And one very important thing of how we approach this is that anything that we custom develop together with the MSP or with the, like an Edge Core or Action Tech and others, it becomes a reusable model inside our platform. We also run on AWS, I should say that. We are a cloud operating system for this. And something to really think of when that happens is that it took us 90 days. That was in itself really fast. Now all of that is table stakes inside our software stack. So now you can spin up all of those vendors, all of those use cases in literally 15 minutes. That would take us to brand your service. And now you have all those vendors integrated, the 6 vendors, and you can start to deploy. And that is what we call exponential growth. That the time to market with the more and more of our deployments, with the more and more MSPs and more customization, becomes this flywheel effect. So what happens to the MSP? Yeah, you can stop the duct taping of systems. A lot of things, we did a survey that 70% of MSPs feel locked in to their, they might love their Ruckus, but they feel locked in. They don't have control over their roadmap. They spend $500,000 or more on trying to build their own single pane of glass. And the hard part is that I think it's 40% cannot find the right people to do it. We bring all of that in our solution. You get, I will come to that. I will say it later. So you don't need another GUI. So for the persons that are bringing, like Shasta Cloud, Net Experience, and all these cloud operators, you will have your dashboards and you have your basic layer, but that software layer that has the solutions, the MDU solution, the small business solution, the enterprise solution, those are disaggregated. We sit on top of all of that, helping you getting all of those delivered. So it doesn't matter. You plug in engines into our system. And of course, the solution provider, they can integrate once with us on our northbound APIs and provide a solution to all the underlying engines. So what we say that we are is that we have heard talk about the Android moment for Open Wi-Fi or the Red Hat moment for Open Wi-Fi. That enterprise wrapper that gives the plug and play and having the freedom to choose. Because even if you are in Open Wi-Fi, yeah, you have an open, you have multiple vendors, but you still want legacy vendors. You still have other solutions that you cannot integrate into that. You need some bridging, and that's where we play. So we are the missing glue between all this. And if we call it, this is the cooperation era. We heard about that you had on top here, Action Tech, Edge Core, CyberTan. All of them are competitors, but also cooperations. And that is how we see this, that if you come together, this flywheel goes faster. So just to kind of show our tech stack is that we sit in the middle. We have a middle layer that is a multi-tenant, where we have for us, for the operator, for the property manager, for the like a residential end user, down to the a small business owner. And we take in all the APIs from the different edge technologies, and we're harmonizing them inside. So this idea of herding cats, because one I've said, it's impossible to manage all these APIs from all different vendors. Yes, it took us 10 years, but now we have a way of doing it. And what we don't do for you is that we say, if you want to bring this all together, we say, here is an API, go and do it. No, we provide what we call a live SDK, meaning we have a big engineering group that will work with you. You don't outsource to us. We kind of embeds with you, and we work on your timeline. So you get a dynamic roadmap inside our software. So we can deploy modules for you that don't affect the others. And once we have deployed those modules, we can take them out and they become blueprints for others that joining later. And that makes it quicker and quicker to go to market. And today, these are the pre-integrated the ecosystem. If we call it the legacy with Ruckus, and then Net Experience together with Action Tech and Edge Core and CyberTan. And then, of course, we have a free radius AAA. Again, you can bring your own or use ours or a mix between the two. And then, of course, Fortinet. And then what we have is what we call the BYOTS, bring your own tech stack. Because the same way that Shasta talked about, every MSP is unique. They have something that nobody else has. And that first time you come in, yes, we will work with you to get that integrated, but then that becomes a blueprint for the next one, because you are all using some mixture of many different vendors. So it doesn't become complex for us to manage, it becomes a powerful time to market. And just to say how we sit in the tech stack is that we sit on top of everybody. We are not competing in that way. We are integrating with the APIs of different cloud providers. If it is the legacy one, or if it is like a Shasta or a Net Experience, we sit on top. We work very closely with Net Experience in Jamaica, and we were very successful in rolling them out in just 90 days to get them onboarded and expanding. And just to say that this has not gone unnoticed, a little self-promo, we were selected the Technology Partner of the Year for the broadband communities this year, and we were part of the Innovation Showcase. So this has, proven to be something that people are interested in. So, as a final, you can be up and running in days. Your control of your dynamic roadmap. There is no vendor lock-in. We are totally agnostic. It's powered by YBIP OS, but it's branded for you. We are not the brand. You are the brand. If you are the service provider or if you are the technology provider, it doesn't matter. It is up to you which brand you want to use. And it's backed, of course, by our live SDK engineers. So that's the story of YBus. Thank you, and any questions?
Thank you, Magnus. Questions?
Same question for you. Where is the data living? Where is your solution living? Is that in United States, Europe, or?
Yeah, right now it sits in United States in AWS.
Okay.
But we can also deploy, and we have deployed in your private cloud. So for us, we can disaggregate that. It can be in the public cloud, or it can be deployed in your private cloud.
So if I spin up a virtual machine and I can get all your information in my cloud environment, in my data center if I want?
Yeah, so we try to stay away from, for GDPR and others, that we are not, when we spin up your universe, it's your universe that you control.
Okay.
But we can, as I said, we can spin it up in your data center, and you will still follow the same, whatever we develop with you will then be disaggregated and become part of the big cloud, but it is inside yours. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Magnus.
Thank you.